So I just got done editing a few videos. I just got done streaming a live stream, and I was going through and I was making some tweaks and changes to the channel and adjustments and going through some comments published and held for review. And I came across a comment, a few actually, and it brought me to this conclusion, for which I wanted to extend my gratitude and a thank you to everyone for not watching the video. And it doesn't have to be this video, it doesn't have to be any of my videos. It literally applies to any and every video, specifically on YouTube. Okay, now YouTube is pretty interesting, and I've actually made this. I've had this talk and discussion, and made this tie and try to make this connection before. But YouTube is different. Now, YouTube would fall into the same category of Rumble, and YouTube will fall into the same category of Vimeo and Twitter, possibly. All right, so in the middle of recording my video, I get you staying out here or what? I get a phone call, and it's FedEx, and they're trying to pick up a return because they sent the wrong item. They sent Michelle something that someone in New York ordered, and whoever in New York ordered this got what Michelle ordered. So now I gotta go and give this to the FedEx people for a return. I got a little bit of battery left on my GoPro, so I'll try to wrap this up and finish my explanation in my story, my chat here about how views work. And essentially these platforms like YouTube, Rumble, Vimeo, Twitter, possibly any platform that offers a video to the audience, potential viewers with a title and thumbnail, falls into this category. And the reason is because titles and thumbnails automatically produce a perception. You know, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Well, your title and thumbnail set the tone and set the stage for a video before the video even begins. Now, as the video begins and the intro and the hook, again, essentially, you have the Hive format. If anybody's familiar with Ali Abdaal or even Azul Wells, and the Hive is the hook, the intro, the value, and then the I can't remember what the E is, but essentially the E is the ending, the extension, the ask or the call to action or whatever. But basically what it boils down to is TikTok and Instagram and some of these other platforms that don't really have titles and thumbnails. Now, granted, they have thumbnails because they have images that make you click, and there may be some words associated with it, but most people aren't really like reading those captions and those titles as closely as long form videos and live streams like video on demand or VOD. So they hit different. But basically what happens is, as I'm reading these comments, I'm, clearly my theory, my assumption, my hypothesis is confirmed in the fact that people aren't really watching videos. Whether it is that they don't have time, or they can't for whatever reason, or they just choose not to, or they get distracted, or the title and thumbnail just ultimately just took over their thoughts and opinions. They don't watch. Relatively often they don't listen. And this is proven by the comments that I get and that I read that have absolutely nothing to do with my video. The comments that I read that have absolutely nothing to do with my video, and in essence are pretty much all assumptions based on the title and thumbnail. And so you may say, well, Kevin, stop making clickbait titles and thumbnails. Well, I don't. And essentially, it's just interpretation. And everybody has the ability, the right, and obviously exercise this in their own way of how they choose to interpret. But then some go as far as sharing their interpretation by way of leaving comments that then clues me into how smart or essentially how stupid they really are. Get a shot of that so you can track it maybe.
There's a seat number on there, but yeah, I want to put it back.
And then hopefully it makes it where it's supposed to go.
As long as she doesn't get charged for it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right?
But you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. You too. All right, we'll see if that return makes it back to Lululemon and see if Lululemon credits Michelle and see if she can get what she ordered replaced. So I think she might have already ordered the replacement and we're just gonna go pick them up from the Lululemon store here. But yeah, it's actually a wave of problems hitting Amazon, as they said that they're getting hit with a flood of fake and fraudulent returns. Essentially people returning things to Amazon under the return authorization, but whatever's in the package isn't what they're supposed to return. And a lot of Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon drop shippers and sellers, are losing a lot of money. But either way, we're getting off topic here. Let's wrap this up. Folks, whether they are smart and whether they are stupid, whether they clearly express this or they keep it to themselves, and you know, essentially when you open your mouth, you'll let everybody know. You'll clue them in on how much you do or don't know, how little you do or don't know. And it's perfectly fine, honestly. But when some folks come out with this adamant stance and opinion, it's a dead giveaway. But the beauty of it is that this allows for people to get their videos seen, their channels to grow, their audiences to grow, to build a following, make money off of them, and continue pushing this down the road, because people aren't necessarily really watching the video. And if you can trick them through the title and thumbnail into believing whatever you want them to believe, then they may actually consume your content and subscribe and like and share, because they're not even really paying attention to what you're telling them. And I'm seeing this happening from both sides. I'm seeing it happening from the side and angle that I'm coming from, where I try to deliver value and truth and information, but I also see that people are only basing their comments and opinions off of a title and thumbnail without actually consuming the content that I create, which is crazy. But then on the flip side, I see people clicking, viewing, and watching, and ultimately even possibly consuming content from others who are painting a picture with their titles and thumbnails that is completely untrue and inaccurate. But because people don't really watch or listen, it still works to their advantage, because essentially they continue to push the narrative and drive the conversation that only very, very unintelligent, ignorant, and quite possibly stupid people would appreciate and believe. That's the crazy part, is the belief. Here we are, April 9th, and the world hasn't ended, folks. Be that as it may, I'm going to continue to make content. I'm going to continue to create what I like to create and present it the way I would like to present it. It will connect with the right people who it should connect with at some point. I can't control that. I can't control the algorithm. But if by chance the video ends up going viral, well, then at least it'll go viral on a discussion and conversation and topic that I have interest in. Unfortunately, the virality could be pushed from the angle of misunderstanding, ignorance, and stupidity, and Lord only knows what type of audience and subscriber base that'll pull in. It's quite a challenge, folks, but stick with me. We're going places.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence, but I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake